Because we have to told me to do it when they come
Yeah, testing.
And I'm the president of the class of 2021. It's my pleasure to welcome you here today. Thank you for joining us on this special day, and thank you for the support you have given our class during our time at Proctor. I'm going to take advantage of my opportunity to speak to thank a few people that are special to me. These people have always done so much for me and for my class. First, I would like to thank Arlen Butler for always filming our sporting events and plays, and for producing the best homecoming highlight films. It is a true blessing to have the videos you have produced to look back on and remember the great times we had at Proctor High School. I'd also like to thank Ron Wood. For those of you that might not know Ron, he is Sydney's dad, the assistant coach for both the girls basketball and softball teams, and of course, the greenskeeper at Terranovich in the Proctor Youth League field. From coaching to putting up soccer nets, helping with fundraisers, anything he could do to be involved and support us, he was there. So a huge thank you to him. Another person that has been a huge champion for our class is Lisa Miser. Lisa is Sora's mom. She is on the school board and has done so much for us. From fundraising to sports boosters, to making sure we had the best uniforms, to ordering us championship gear. Lisa also organized a class trip to Washington, D.C. that we never got to go on because of COVID. Lisa, thank you so much for all you have done. I would also like to thank Senora Garcia for never giving up for me, putting up with my crowd, and being the only reason I passed Spanish. Last but not least, I want to thank Jakey and thank you for being my coach and mentor and for always pushing me to be the best I could be. As our athletic director, you push our teams and our programs to strive for greatness, and the results speak for themselves. Thank you for all you have done for us.
Rachel Stuhlmiller, please come to the podium to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated.
Nice job.
Thanks. I was stressed about that all day.
So, good morning, everyone. Congratulations, class of 2021, for reaching this important milestone in your life. You have accomplished this while also making history. This time last year, graduation looked very different. But this year, we are finally making progress controlling the pandemic and now look forward once again to a bright future. I'm so happy for you that your graduation celebration today, once again, includes the wonderful traditions that have defined Proctor High School graduation for decades. This is a very different experience than the way you started your senior year. You've gotten through it, tough times and challenging times, with grit, perseverance, and determination. These are skills that will serve you well going forward. Looking back, I hope you remember the times and experiences that have impacted your growth as a student, and remember the people that have supported you to reach your goals and to help you take the next step in your lives. Today is a good day to thank all of your family, friends, teachers, and advisors who have played a significant role in your achievement. They say it takes a village to raise a child. And while you are no longer a child, I can look around this tent and see many people who knew you when you were a child, then a teenager, and now a young adult. All of these people are as proud as your parents of your successes. Graduates, I'd like to leave you with this quote from A.A. Milne. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. It has been my true honor to be your principal for a very few short months. But I wish you all the best, and once again, congratulations. We will now announce the golden diplomas, and the following students join me at the stage. Catherine Cameron, Robert Lang, Camden Richardson, Janaea Richardson, and Sydney Wood.
We regret that the class of 1971 cannot be with us today. With so many Proctor memories contained in these marble walls, and so many more that will be added over the years, we, the class of 2021, would like to acknowledge the class of 1971. Anthony Bechet, Sharon Bechet Howard, Daniel Baker, Reginald Bartlett, Ron Biro, and Jeanette Fran Breton.
Joseph Buzzle, Robert Buzzle, Patricia Casey, Diane Champagne Shenanahan, David Sismedia, Jean Cook, Dean Corsones, Linda Dorn-Jones, Tom Doty, Richard Fay.
Wayne Fletcher, Greg Gallus, John Grasdell, Bill Greeno, Len Griffin, Patricia Haley Roberts, John Harrison, Lynn Callan Stewart, Chris Kaiser, Rachel Northrop Kaiser.
Ellen Cortizo Arkinson, Cindy Martinez Kaplan, Gary Mellon, Chris Morgan, Diane Morgan Gardner, Gayla Ojala Thomas, David Pentowski, Larry Paquette, Leslie Rapino, and Marcia Raymond McMone.
Mike Seinkowitz, Charles Scuba, David Stevens, Phil Stoddard, Priscilla Taylor Jarlino, Albert Wenta, Henry Wenta, David Wilson, and Linda Corey Crone. May we now take a moment of silence in recognition of those graduates who are no longer with us. Thank you. And now for the introduction of our speaker today, Caitlin Story. Would you please join me at the podium?
Jake Eaton has been a part of the Proctor community for 11 years. Not only has he been a teacher, he has also been our athletic director, basketball coach, and a mentor. The class of 2021 has known Mr. Eaton since the very beginning. He has supported us both academically and as individuals. We admire his positive energy and loyalty to Proctor. He always goes above and beyond for us kids. Even when his own family was struggling, he always made sure we knew he was there for us. We chose Jake as our speaker because of the strong connection we have with him and felt it fitting that he is here to send us off on our journey through life. We can't thank him enough for everything he has done for us. Please help me welcome Jake Eaton.
Great start. Wow, you guys are all grown up. You excited?
A little bit.
Well, I'm excited to get rid of you. My beard couldn't take any more grace. Trying to coach Brennan and Connor, and then Camden said he's coming out for basketball. Do you guys see my beard at the end of the basketball season? I look like Sean Connery. I mean, just for men, beard dye is pretty expensive on a teacher's salary. So, if I was smart, I would have coached the girls all those years. You guys listen better and would have won more championships. I'd like to thank you guys for having me. When Caitlin emailed me about this, I was really taken aback, because when you teach, you hope you do make the connections, and that's what it's all about. And words can't describe how much this group and how much this community, everybody underneath this tent means to me. And just being in attendance today, I'm just really honored and humbled to be up here speaking on your behalf. Ron, don't make eye contact with me, please. I'll cry like when Olaf comes back to life and kills him too. No, but I really have lived a blessed life, and I've been able to accomplish a lot and lucky. And this is right up there with all those accomplishments, guys. I'll always cherish this moment, and I just really appreciate you guys thinking of me, and I hope I make you proud today. And we've been through a lot together. I mean, I grew up with you guys. I really did. I came here in my late 20s, and you know, we've had a lot of ups, a couple downs, mostly ups, but you know, it's all about the journey. And you know, I want to tell you my journey about how I got here, because it's I think it's a really good life lesson for you guys. Those of you that don't know me, I'm from Rutland, born and raised, Red Raider for life, Chuck. I've been the PE teacher here since 2009. Very next year, Arlen came to me and asked, he was thinking about stepping down, and he thought I was a good replacement. So I've been the AD since 2010, and you know, the legendary Dick Wilcox was done kicking everybody's butt for a while and let me take over for basketball, and that was 2012. But kind of the journey that took me here at Proctor's, you know, kind of special, and I just want you guys, you know, it's a good life lesson. So I went to University of Maine on a full scholarship to play football. I was the captain, the quarterback there, studied kinesiology and child development there, and had a very good career. And at the time, I had realistic goals of playing in the NFL, and you can laugh, they were realistic. I was the number 2 ranked quarterback in my conference. The number 1 quarterback in my conference was Tony Romo. You guys have ever heard that name? He played for the Cowboys, and now he makes millions of dollars on Monday Night Football. We were the number 4 ranked team in the country, and I had one more game as a senior, and I just unluckily had a guy roll up on my knee, 300-pound guy, tore my ACL, MCL. So, you know, I bounced around. I played on the West Coast in the CFL, in Edmonton, Alberta. I played 2 years of arena football in North Carolina. I lived a year in New Hampshire, and I finally caught on in Orlando, for the Orlando Predators, the Arena Football League. I was playing for a guy named Jay Gruden. He coached the Washington Redskins recently. His brother's famous, John Gruden, coaches the Las Vegas Raiders. And for about 4 years in my mid-20s, it was awesome. I made great money. I had a 2-bedroom condo. I was paid for by the team. Full benefits. You guys get a little older. Full benefits is awesome. So you know you're getting old and you talk about your benefits. You know, I had an in-ground pool. I got to travel the country. You know, we played Chicago, New York, Atlanta, Dallas, LA, Vegas. You know, so I was living the life. I was making great money, living my dream. And then in my 4th year, when I was about to make even more money, it happened again. My good knee, you know, my right knee got rolled up on, and I tore my ACL, MCL, PCL. I basically dislocated my kneecap. Hope nobody's squeamish out there. I apologize. And here's where I kind of, you know, took the journey here to Proctor. I started rehabbing again, thinking I'm going to keep playing, which was at the time, if I think back at it, was kind of ridiculous. It was probably time to hang them up and move on with my life, and that dream was over. And I was rehabbing my knee, and I got a phone call from Mary Fergozzi. You guys all know Mary Fergozzi. She's hard on me in high school. You guys know Mary. Amazing teacher. She was my U.S. History Honors teacher, mentor of mine in high school. And she said, I have a really good opportunity for you. I mean, you got to come. It's not yours. You got to come interview. But you know, it's like you know, if you know Mary, I think I can pull some strings and get you a job. It's a great little community called Proctor, and big heart, and they love athletics. So I think it's right up your alley. And guys, I swear to God, I knew nothing about Proctor. I'm from Rutland, but you know, the only time I think I'd ever been in Proctor was like for the Little League. You guys just run the best Little League tournament. I think I hit 2 home runs, and some woman wanted to see my birth certificate. Said I was buying beer at the West Street Market. I was like, these people in Proctor, they're crazy about sports. So I literally knew nothing about Proctor. So I reluctantly flew home and interviewed for the job. Actually, Lloyd Hughes was on the committee. Right, Lloyd?
My fault.
And he made fun of me. He said I was overdressed. I was in a suit and whatever. And, you know, and I got the job. And guys, honestly, and I don't want to offend anybody, but at the time, I wasn't really happy about it. You know, like I said, I was in Florida, making really good money. Moved back here. I felt like I had been a failure, battling some depression, going through this really bad injury again. And, you know, at the time, you gotta remember, I was just teaching. So I was just teaching you guys. I wasn't the AD, I wasn't a coach, just moved back. And I just fell in love with this place, you know. And, you know, you guys are a big part of that. You guys were in first grade. And, you know, I just, after a while, I got more comfortable. And, you know, I always obviously knew I wanted to teach and be around kids. That was my, you know, second passion because, you know, that's what I studied and that's what I wanted to do. And, you know, you guys were responsible for kind of turning my life around. You really were. And there's other students in this room I can see that, you know, I have the same love for. And, you know, so my lesson to you guys is, you know, you're going to have tragedies in your life. You know, not that tearing my knee up was a tragedy, but, you know, it was an adversity. And, you know, now I'm standing here, I'm a happy man. I love my job, you know, surrounded by people I love. I get to teach rock stars like you every day. I wouldn't have met my beautiful wife, who's from Vermont, went to Castle University, nursing school, wouldn't have my blessing of a daughter if that didn't happen to me, you know. So, you know, if one door shuts on you, go bang on another one. If they don't open up that one, kick the other one in. Not very finesse. So that's how I kind of ended up in Proctor. And look, you guys have overcome so much in the last year and a half. I mean, it's the most tumultuous year I've ever been involved with in my young adult life. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I'm just so proud of the way you guys have handled all the things you've been through. I mean, you guys literally went to high school during a global pandemic. You dealt with COVID, you know, and you've dealt with one of the most polarizing elections I've ever been involved with. You know, you've got social injustice movement, you got cancel culture, you got so much stuff going on. I don't even know how you guys kept it together. But every day you did. You did it with a smile, you did it with kindness, you did it with respect, you did it together. And I really admire that. And it was just such a pleasure to work with you guys. I mean, you guys had proms taken away, you had senior trips, championship games. You know how hard it was for me to tell you you only could bring 3 people to a soccer game? Stuff like that, you know, and you guys never gave me a hard time. You guys never wavered. You're still here, you're still smiling, you're ready to kick the real world's butt. And, you know, I just really appreciate how you guys handled yourselves. So I really think going forward, you know, the bullets really start flying, you're going to be fine. And there's 4 words that I think, my dad was an English teacher. I don't know, probably some of you guys have had him in this room at Rutland High School. So I'm always about vocab and stuff. So there's 4 words that really jump out to me when I explain this class to people. And the first one's integrity. Anybody know? Can anybody in here tell me what integrity is? Anybody? Come on. Tyler, come on. Well, integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. And to make it even simpler, you know, do the right thing when people aren't watching. And I think about that when I think about you guys. There's never been any drama. You guys are always doing the right thing. You guys are always, whether you're in the school, athletic fields, treating each other great, and it's just been a pleasure to work with. Next thing goes along with that is respect. You guys have always been respectful to me, the teachers. I've been around other teams. We have this thing at Proctor High School: respect yourself, others, and your environment. I think you guys do that on a daily basis. Third word is kindness. I just love the way, like I said, you guys treat each other and treat other people. And I've had other classes that I've really enjoyed having, but they don't treat each other the way you guys do. I mean, you guys are just a class act. And last thing is family. This is our Proctor family, and you guys have always, been really close. Nobody's above the other, and those are the 4 words that I think of when I think about you. Almost done. Joel Tate, you'll be proud of me here. If you've never been to one of Joel's services, he does an amazing job. I got to come to more. My wife loves it. And, when I was in college, my head coach used to give me these motivational quotes all the time. And he used to use one with me all the time. He said this verse from Micah, paragraph 6, verse 8, reminded me of him of me. So if you guys follow this verse, Micah 6:8, I think you'll do well in life. The verse goes, "And what does Lord require of you? To seek justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." And it's really that simple. Act justly, you guys. Act justly is the quality of being impartial or fair. To love mercy, to live your life with compassion, love, and kindness. And walk humbly. Connor, did you hear that one? Walk humbly. Be humble and have humility. I think in this short passage, we can all be reminded that real success won't be found in moving faster, living selfishly, or judging others. Let's remind each other that the gift of slowing down and enjoy the journey. Let's recognize what really matters. And let's identify what really doesn't matter. And lastly, just breathe it in and embrace this awesome gift that we have of life, especially after what we've been through this last year. And last but not least, my main man, I'm going to quote Dr. Seuss, because I am an elementary school teacher. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. You guys have a lot to smile about. I love you, thank you, and good luck.
Now I would like to invite Hope Kelly, the salutatorian, to the stage, please.
Good morning, fellow classmates, faculty, staff, friends, and family. I want to start off by thanking you all for being here to support our class. Thank you for not only putting up with us over the years, but for contributing to the people we are today. When I was young, I always dreamed of being a high schooler. I couldn't wait to play varsity sports, attend prom, go on a senior trip, and graduate alongside my best friends. As many of you know, I transferred from Black River to Proctor my junior year due to the closure of my school. Never in a million years did I predict that my high school would close. With that, I had to make the strenuous decision of where I wanted to transfer for my remaining 2 years of high school. I chose to come to Proctor, knowing that I would be going a separate way than all of my classmates. The biggest factor that came into my decision was the kindness and respectful students. There were a few schools that I considered transferring to, including Green Mountain, Mill River, West Rutland. But when it came down to it, Proctor's sportsmanship and respect on the field and court stood out to me, and I aspired to be a part of their sports teams. When I started school at Proctor, I was welcomed with open arms, and the sense of community was one of the first things that caught my eye. I will never forget playing in my first soccer game for Proctor. The amount of fans that came out to support our team that day was shocking to me. It seemed like the whole town was at our game that day. Seeing everyone come together to watch us that day filled my heart with joy because I could feel the support of the entire town. With that being said, I'm extremely grateful that I made the decision to transfer to Proctor, and I hope that you all leave here today knowing how much of an impact you make on the students of Proctor High School. To my fellow classmates, I'm sure there are many people who may have doubted us along the way, including ourselves, but the hours of hard work paid off. We all persevered and made it here today. Be proud of yourselves and the accomplishments you've made thus far. Wherever the path of life takes you, hold your head high and don't forget to support those around you. Congratulations to the class of 2021 and good luck with your future endeavors. Thank you.
I would like to invite Maeve Sheehy, the valedictorian.
Thank you, Ms. Canning. Let's give a round of applause for the class of 2021. When reflecting upon these past 4 years, I find it best to use the metaphor of a hot air balloon ride. Whether these past 4 years were spent solely at Proctor High School or you transferred in from another school like I did, I think we've all had a very similar experience. It begins with freshman year. Everything is new and exciting, but nerve-wracking at the same time. We would be spending the next 4 years of our lives making new friends, learning, studying, pulling a few all-nighters, and maybe failing a couple tests along the way. But hey, at least we were all in it together. When partaking on a hot air balloon ride, one of the first steps is to take the balloon and fan it out as far as it will go. When we arrived at school for our freshman year, it felt as if the next 4 years were structured and laid out for us, similar to how the balloon gets laid out before you. Each year prepares us more and more for the end goal, a 4-year journey that would one day lead to graduating and pursuing plans after high school. As the balloon lays stand out on the ground, it awaits the air that will fill it up and allow the basket to rise. As freshmen, we are new to the whole high school thing, but we have the capability to become filled with success. The deflated balloon represents all the potential that awaits us over the course of our high school career. The air filling the balloon being the knowledge, experiences, success, friendships, and accomplishments that will propel us to our graduation. As we walked the halls, getting lost at first and eventually finding our way, we represented all that it meant to be freshmen, the newbies, young, naive, awkward, and at the bottom of the totem pole. Friends help you through the ups and downs of high school. Some friendships come and go, and others stay for all 4 years. But when you reflect back on the friendships you've had, I'm sure you can think of ways that those people helped shape who you are today. Now that the balloon is laid out and the basket is prepped, the hot air balloon is ready to rise. Slowly but surely, air fills the balloon, and the basket leaves the ground. It is now sophomore year, and we finally have a feel for things. With this next year of school comes more choices and a little bit more freedom. You can finally choose more of the classes you take, and maybe now you sign up for clubs and extracurriculars. Sports, as I'm sure all of you know, are a big part of being a phantom. These opportunities allow us to come together as a community. This time may also come with some reflecting. What do you want to do when you're older? How do you want to be remembered? As you ponder and reflect, you leave sophomore year with an idea of what path you want to take to your future. When looking back, one teacher in particular who helped me realize who I am and a passion of mine is Senora Garcia. She provided me with the opportunity to become a Spanish tutor, and on a day where she lost her voice, she asked me to come in and teach her class the lesson plan that day. Throughout my time tutoring, it became clear to me that I found fulfillment in helping others. I knew from that moment on that I needed to pursue a career where I could do just that. I am now happy and confident to say that I will be pursuing nursing at UVM next year in hopes of becoming a labor and delivery nurse. I also intend on incorporating Spanish into my career. Muchas gracias por todo, señora. Junior year is next. If I could describe junior year in one word, it would be stress. I think I lost track of the number of all-nighters I spent finishing assignments and studying for AP exams. I am pretty sure this is the year I gave my parents the majority of their gray hair. Sorry, Dad, Mom, and Mike. Junior year was not easy, and as the hot air balloon gets higher in the sky, challenges emerge. One huge gust of wind could throw you off course. Maybe there is some fog that clouds your vision for a bit, but perseverance is the name of the game. Then, there was the gust of wind that none of us had anticipated. COVID-19 impacted our school year immensely and threw our hot air balloon off its course. It all started with what seemed like an exciting 2-week vacation from school, and eventually it led to everything changing completely. School shut down, sports seasons were canceled, and clubs were no longer allowed to meet. We were all impacted in a slightly different way, but our perseverance allowed us to come out on top. I believe the obstacles that came as a result of the pandemic have made us stronger. My fellow classmates and I were able to battle through the ups and downs of the past year and make it to our graduation. Not only was this something students had to overcome, but teachers, staff, parents, and family members as well. We appreciate all of the support we have received from our community. Without you all, we would have had a much harder time. Finally, the wind stopped blowing as strongly as before, and the fog cleared enough for the hot air balloon to continue on its journey. This would be the last year of the 4, senior year. As the day of graduation grew nearer, our senioritis grew stronger and stronger. We were finally about to leave the nest and become young adults with more independence and freedom. We have all grown so much together, learning from each other along the way. Like how I learned that the salt and vinegar wings at Franklin's are one of the best flavors, or how the water in the office tastes way better than the water from the hallway fountain, even though we aren't allowed to get our water from there. Or to always guess the letter C on standardized tests if you aren't sure what the answer is. What I'm trying to say here is that there is so much more that we are all taking away from our time here than just a diploma, although that is also very important. These past years have been filled with memories and experiences that we will never forget. As I stand here today, it is bittersweet, and I'm sure all of you feel the same way. Reflecting on all the time we spent together brings so much joy, and to think that we are finally about to part ways 4 years later feels surreal. We have all been on this journey together, and I wish you all the best of luck with your future endeavors. The hot air balloon has now reached the peak of its journey. With the wind no longer blowing, we float through the air peacefully, and all of our hard work, dedication, and perseverance has brought us to this moment. All of our accomplishments and success allow us to appreciate the journey that we have now completed. As we look out beyond the basket of the hot air balloon, we should be proud of how far we have come, for there is now a magnificent view right before us. Here's to us, the class of 2021. The sky's the limit.
May I have Lucy Tate, valedictorian, join me on the podium, please?
Good morning. So I just want to start off. When I was younger, one of my favorite places to go was the library. I absolutely loved it there. And looking at all the fun books filled with different and interesting stories, it was so intriguing to see what other people spent their lives doing and learning through their experiences. In many ways, a library can help represent this class, with everyone having their own book placed on a shelf next to one another. Each book is filled with what makes each student up here today unique. It contains each milestone that we've reached and each defeat we've felt. Graduating today feels like going back and rereading these books, not only to figure out how on earth we made it up here this morning, but also to reminisce on those times in high school that educated us, brought us happiness, and prepared us for the next step we are about to take. Most of us up here today would probably have a full chapter just of our time participating in sports. I know that my sports chapter focused greatly on soccer and the ups and downs of the past 4 seasons. There would be numerous pages celebrating our victories, especially the big ones, such as the past 2 championship games and the parades that followed. I would add in how thankful I am for having such an encouraging and hard-working team beside me all 4 years, and our coaches that helped us get to these wins by working with us every step of the way. I would not only celebrate the games we won, but also the small victories at practice, such as convincing coaches to let us do relay instead of tag at the end of practice, or every time they let us play power finesse. But this part of my book would also highlight all the fun we had on bus rides to and from games, listening to Carrie Underwood before almost every away game, or being greeted with a baked good from George as we made our way back onto the bus. But most importantly, getting to yell "Game Day" at the start of every bus ride, and continuously hearing that famous quote, "Leave no doubt." It would contain all the team scavenger hunts where we got yelled at for running through Walmart, and all the fun moments from the teen sleepovers, like daring Sydney to do the spider, but thankfully she backed out. I would even attach a section about waking up so early in the morning for those summer practices, but having it all be worth it because it meant I got to spend more time with my team. Also in my book, I would have a section dedicated to all our winter carnivals throughout the years and all the times we won. If you were to read this chapter, you'd see the legendary chariot race, where sophomore year when Tori led us and Chance would walk through the school, making breakfast in the morning for all the students. I would even add how skilled Ricky was at the giant bowling game and how well we competed together to come out as a class to come out on top. The next chapter I would add to my book would be filled with things I learned while attending Proctor, like how to make the best tea from during his China unit in world history. I learned that more words than you think rhyme with Carl Azus. I learned multiple Spanish memorization songs from Senora, and furthermore, my whole Spanish class got to learn from Connor how to sneak onion rings back into class after being told you can't have them. And pockets have a lot of depth. By the time Brianna taught us the best way to eat an apple, even just a few months ago, I finally learned how to round up a decimal with the number 9. Thank you, Sawyer. And while I learned, I was also able to teach. For example, just last month, I had the opportunity to finally teach Janaea how to properly read a ruler. Well, of course, learning and furthering my education here to help me in the future. Next to my story, I would highlight all the fun times we had together, such as the time Robert accidentally drank panic in biology, or the time we went and visited the Ben & Jerry's factory, making science and going watching Miss Kennedy's indoor soccer games, creating vegan games in health class, vegan for life, and trying our very best to fit Adam Sandler into every single AP lesson. I'm so sorry, Miss Papandrea. And spending countless 8th periods with Al and Miss Bridget for 3DBT, or playing Matomi Jeopardy game in history. Convincing Mr. Sell and Miss Papandrea to let us have beta fish in our classroom. Thank you, Rachel, so much for making a fantastic presentation to help our case. Or tennis club with Miss Marcus and Miss Wehoff. By that time, our whole class got divided when attempting to create a Romeo and Juliet movie. Thank you, Miss Toomey, for sticking with us through that hard time. So if my life was compiled into one book, like I mentioned earlier, I would be jealous of everyone else who would get to read it. Because I would love to go back and learn and hear and see all these fond memories again for the first time. Relive some of the best and most fun moments of my life. Because while high school was rough and challenging at times, this class always had each other's back and made it all worthwhile. We were always able to find the bright side of difficult situations as we grew and matured together. So my question to you, as you go forward today, is what do you want to fill your book with? I hope everyone will act as if their lives are being written into a book for others to read. This means be honest with your actions and make the right choices. Act responsibly and use the skills you have obtained these past 4 years to accomplish every task that is put before you. Make sure that you can be proud and satisfied with how you lead your life. Attempt to be a good influence to others. And when you start to lose direction, go back and reread these portions of your life that helped you become the intelligent, caring, and resilient Proctor High School graduate you are. But most importantly, strive to be that book in the library that's ruffled up and bent in a few places because of how many people have read, loved, and looked up to your story. Thank you.
Now for the presentation of the Book of Archives, Connor McKieran and Lacey French, please join me at the podium.
I, Connor McKieran, President of the Class of 2021, present to you Lacey French, the Book of Archives, and wish the Class of 2022 the best of luck in their senior year.
I, Lacey French, President of the Class of 2022, accept the Book of Archives and wish the Class of 2021 much success in their future endeavors. Victoria George will now present the class gift. Hello. On behalf of the Class of 2021, we would like to present our class gift of a marble plaque. This is dedicated to Mr. Ma. It's not what I wrote, but it's okay. I don't know what this is. Okay. So our class has developed a bond with Mr. Mott over the years and would like to thank him for all that he has done for our class and school as a whole. We would also like to thank him for having patience with our class even when we gave him a hard time, especially during what he liked to call our sophomore slump. He has always been there for us. He was our class advisor, he helped with Winter Carnival, and he even took us on fun trips like Model UN, where we called him Dad the whole time, just to annoy him. We also like to call him just Mott and occasionally Judd, because we found out that's his old first name. So, thank you, Mott, for always being there for us. There was no doubt in our minds that we wanted to give you something when thinking of what our class gift would be. If you would join me on stage, I'd like to present it to you now. So this is a plaque for Mr. Mott to forever dedicate his room as his, because he deserves it.
Thank you very much.
A few more years.
And now the moment we've all been waiting for, presentation of diplomas. May Ms. Miser join us on the stage, please, with Superintendent Sell. Catherine Louise Cameron. William Latrell Chapman. Andrew John Colvin. Brennan William Crofton. Richard Scott Cummings LaGrave, Jr. Tyler Michael Uger. George. Hope Elizabeth Kelly. Taylor Mackenzie Kennedy. Howard Lang. Madison Page Lee. Connor Shea McKieran. Grace Oman. Sawyer Grace Brandt Perkins. Alan Richardson. Janaea Bethany Richardson. Liam Jeffrey Ridland. Maeve Catherine Sheehy. Margaret Story. Caleb Oscar Stuhmiller. Rachel Lauren Stuhmiller. Lucy Joy Tate. Brianna Rain Wink. Sydney Marie Wood. Superintendent Sell, would you join me to confer the diplomas, please?
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the school board of the state of Vermont, I hereby confer upon you the degree for which you have completed all the requirements and express the hope that learning will lead you to advance knowledge in or enrich the practice of your chosen field. You may now move your tassels from right to left. Congratulations, class of 2021.